And he was withdrawn from about a stone's throw, and he knelt down and prayed, saying, Father, if it is your will, take this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. Have you ever been separated from your children? I was. Spring filed a restraining order, and she listed Ricky and Daisy as protected persons, which meant I couldn't speak to them either. And then I was told that it was going to be 3 weeks before I was going to be able, potentially, to speak to them again. That lasted about a week. About a week into it, I texted a woman who was Ricky and Daisy's babysitter and was Ricky's best friend, was his mom. And I said, can you please ask your boys to ask Ricky and Daisy how they're doing? I went to bed that night and got woke up by a banging on my door, and it was a Riverside County Sheriff's deputy. He said, you Joel McWaters? Yeah. You know you have a restraining order against you, right? Yeah. Did you send this text? Yes. Are you ready to go to jail? No, I'm not. Because I'm ready to take you to jail. What you did is illegal and you've broken the law. I could turn you around and put handcuffs on you and take you to jail. I said, sir, this is the deal. I haven't spoken to and I laid it out for him, and he just kept on with, it doesn't matter, you broke the law. He let me go. He didn't take me to jail. He scared me bad enough to where I wasn't going to break the law again. I tried to reason with him and tell him, I just wanted to talk to my kids. I know that they're hurting, and I just wanted to talk to them. I was able to talk to him 3 weeks later. This is my personal belief, and I can kind of point some to it, but I'm not going to for time's sake. But I believe that when the Lord was here in the flesh, he was no longer able to have one-on-one communication with the Father like we would have with another person. I think he spent so much time in prayer, but I don't think that the Father then spoke back to him. I think that the Father saw all the suffering that he was enduring, but did not tell him, hey man, it's going to be all right. I know but it's going to be okay. The verse that I read, I think, is probably the extent of the one-on-one communication to him. Obviously, he spoke. The voice of the Father was heard at his baptism, as well as on the Mount of Transfiguration. But I don't even think that was necessarily from the Father to the Son. I think this, for my own study, is the extent. And this is the Lord asking to have that separation from the Father be taken away from him. And even then, the Father doesn't respond with a voice. He sends an angel, and that angel is basically telling the Lord no. The answer is no. I think that in order to be able to say that the Lord had the full human experience, he could not have that conversation with the Father like he would have had he not come in the flesh. In order to say that, no, I endured humanity in its completeness, I had the same communication with the Father that human beings can. I can pray, and then I can try to understand God's will. He couldn't have that direct communication with him. I can only imagine how hard it was for the Father when he was seeing that suffering, not just on the cross, but the everyday frustrations, knowing that his son was hungry and just not be able just to come and say, look, let's just stick with the plan. I know it's tough. Or even embrace him, just make him supernaturally feel better. How hard that must have been for him. Because I couldn't take a week, knowing that my kids weren't happy, I couldn't take a week. I was willing to break the law to find that out. And even then, I didn't find out. I am grateful beyond words that the Father didn't break the law who knows what that would have done to the sacrifice or the validity of the sacrifice that the Lord made, but he was willing to suffer that much so that the sacrifice could happen and we would have the opportunity to share in glory and righteousness with him like we do.